I'm Bleeding Critic. Welcome to Scary Stories UK. A true scary story. Body storage. Scary times at the moment. The news plants desperation in your thoughts and encourages you to panic and instructs you to stay in your home. You got to distance yourself from your friends and family, especially the elderly. These frightening times bring out the selfish and the best in others. The selfish that hoard too much food and store so much household essentials without considering other people within the community are the ones who hopefully will suffer the most in the long term. You see, karma has a way of being very sneaky to the people who never think about others. The invisible virus won't turn you into the Walking Dead or something out of the film 28 Days Later, though seeing the streets so empty definitely reminds me of those disaster movies and TV shows. But here's the thing, the disaster is real and far more disturbing and worrying than you've been fed. You see, yeah, many have died, and many will die, but have you wondered about the fact more people die every year from the flu and accidents in the home and car crashes? Have you considered this? Maybe you're not getting the full picture of what's going on. What's really going on? Yeah, you can explore and get freaked out from the conspiracy theories found online. But right now I'll share with you the truth. And I'll instruct you what to do to witness it for yourself. I found out the truth one night recently because I just couldn't sleep. I don't know if I heard someone screaming or I was dreaming it. Anyway, I went out for a walk, walking slowly up and down my street, looking up at the black sky with magical stars. That's when I heard then saw the black van. It pulled up the road and 4 people jumped out. I could make out they could be military, unmarked, silent. I watched them silent running into a home. They didn't notice me. At the time I thought, why are the shape of their heads slightly larger? And then I realised they had black hazmat suits on. I was safe watching from the shadow of the trees. They weren't an ambulance crew or police. They kind of reminded me of the team who collects the fallen robots in Westworld in the dead of night. I love movies, so everything in my life is compared to some scene from some film. When I swim in the sea, I think of Jaws. There's a lockdown, so I think about the disturbing William Friedkin film Bug. And the virus itself really reminds me of John Carpenter's The Thing. However, you're genuinely being hidden from the bigger picture. You've been fed a fraction of the truth. The virus is true, the lockdown is necessary, but the bigger picture is beyond terrifying. They returned to the van carrying bodies wrapped up in shiny black and gently placed them into the back of the black van. I knew they were bodies because one was desperately moving. An unknown team member placed the body onto the road surface and repeatedly hammered the petrified person until their skull caved in. The black van actually stopped outside the old people's home on my road. That night they killed about 8 old people between them. I don't know if the residents were infected or not. At the time, once I pieced together the horror that was taking place while you were sleeping, I remember my legs buckling. This killer team were so quiet. I was close enough to witness the speed of their skillful work. As the van pulled away and I knew I wasn't seen, I just sat down on the pavement in darkness, exhausted, disturbed. I was broken and my tears didn't stop flowing. The next night I waited in my car outside my home for the black van. This time 2 vans arrived. I counted 14 elderly people were murdered that next night. Hopefully they were in deep sleep or medicated so much before they knew the hell that was about to happen to them. My black car is electric, so there's no engine sound. I followed the vans at a sensible distance with my lights off. They drove through the night to a new self-storage facility in an industrial estate. After spying for 20 minutes, I saw what was going on. Body storage. They were storing the old dead bodies in metal storage containers. If I were to be seen, I'd join the elderly murdered for sure. Afterwards, for a few days, I had to let what I witnessed sit with me, sort of ferment a bit. And now I know what's really going on. Set your alarm for 3:13 AM. Wear black clothes and go for a walk. I guarantee you'll see the black vans. Right now, before I explain what's happening, please make sure you're sitting down. Listen carefully. The virus was deliberately created to target the elderly and vulnerable because the world is overpopulated. At this point in time, the world's population is 7.8 billion. And every year the population is growing by another 100 million people. And this elderly cleansing is what the governments of the world have been forced to do. You see, it's not just about reducing the population numbers. It's also the billions of dollars that all the elderly have worked so hard for. So the focus is to get the population down and to share the static wealth that's sitting doing nothing. Money that's desperately needed to create a balanced, kinder society. So the horror is real. The disgusting, twisted minds that are in charge have created a terrifying virus that targets the elderly and the vulnerable. And to speed up their dark intentions, they're sending out teams dressed in black hazmat suits to murder the elderly while we sleep. And there's nothing we can do to stop it. So stay safe and keep calm. And if a black van pulls up outside your home, then you only have a few breaths left. Now here's the trailer for my interactive website.
This is William Friedkin. Don't panic. If your screen starts to bleed, you are about to witness Bleeding Critic.
I'm the anonymous horror film critic, the creator and narrator of immersive scary stories. BleedingCritic.com is the interactive horror platform where horror fans have a voice and are actually seen. Horror Memories, this is where you talk about that moment from any film that really damaged you. And there's more interaction for you with Horror Therapy. Share that moment from your real life where something scared or terrified you. I like short horror films, especially ones that don't get the attention they deserve. So if you've made a short horror film, send it to me. I'll even add a special filmed introduction. You can watch the short horror films I've chosen right now. On to my horror content. Scary Stories UK is my YouTube channel, so all my YouTube videos are here as well, and they will freeze your spine. Check out my interviews and photo galleries, and watch my spoiler-free film reviews. And when you see any of the films I've reviewed, you can add your own rating. Follow me across social media. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Scary Stories UK. Follow and interact with me on Twitter @BleedingCritic and on Instagram. Do a bit of retail therapy with clown merch. There's 5 designs of my face splattered over 50 different products. And Patreon is a way you can support my interactive horror platform and my YouTube channel from as little as $5 a month. During the time you've watched this video, I've scuttled along your ear canal into your skull and I ain't leaving.